All right. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. We are going to create this rotary to linear motion um, assembly on OnShape with VEX components. If you do a search in public of rotary to linear motion, you should find rotary to linear motion. You should find the one that I've created here for you so you can copy this to your own account and follow along with this video. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So I'm going to head back here. I have created a copy of it. If you open up your copy and you don't see anything, go down to assembly. And here are my components. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to take these racks and I'm going to place them onto this C channel. There is a linear motion kit with VEX, but I didn't happen to find it in the library when I first initially did this. But I also didn't search very hard. So anyway, the whole idea here is to understand how we can create linear motion from rotary motion. And so I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate that with these components here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of additional racks. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. These parts I did not find in the VEX library that we downloaded previously. So what you can do is you can actually search for HS-gear-rack in the public library and you should be able to find these components here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just do a fastened mate between, let's say, the center of that and the center of, I'm going to hold the shift key again and grab the center. I'm going to do a quick rotate, click OK. I am good to go, and all the holes should line up. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for the other ones. I'm going to do a fasten mate. I am going to snag the center of that by holding shift. There we go. And then I'm going to hold shift key and snag the center of that. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a fasten mate. Grab the center of this one here. And then place it holding shift. Grab the center of this one. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Check mark. And I believe I have room for one more on the other side, so I'll go ahead and add this one. Revolve, or not revolve, excuse me, fasten mate. Revolve. Anyway, we go to select the center of that. And then the center of this. Fantastic. Let's rotate, rotate, rotate. Beautiful. Okay. So one of the things I can do, let me get the gear out of the way. The little gear and this axle, this shaft, is I can go ahead and create my slider feature. So I want this to slide left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and select slider mate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab the face of this. I'm going to click that. And I want that face to slide. We have this beautiful origin point here. As I hover over this origin point, I see that I've got these axes that I could select. I mean, hold shift key. So that way, if I move my mouse away, I still can see those. So I'm going to go ahead and allow it to slide on this axis here. And then I'm going to click OK. And when I do that, this has the ability to slide left and right on that axis. And that's it. Okay. What I can do is let me go ahead and click on slider. Let me see if I can do an offset. And I'm going to drop this down just a tad other way, just so I can get it out of the way so I can access this later on. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fix this or these gears onto this axle by using a fasten mate. I want the axle and the gear to rotate as one. And so I am going to fasten them so that they move together. And so let me rotate this so I can see this side. There we go. Hit OK. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to do a fastened mate. And I'm going to select that. And bring that over here. I'm going to flip it. There we go. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want this to revolve. I'm going to create a revolute mate. So that way this can rotate in relation to a plane. So what I'm going to do is use my origin again to create that revolute mate between the center of this. And this is going to get tricky, so make sure you select the right plane. I want the plane, imagine you slicing this right down the center here. So you see how this circle is kind of slicing this in the middle? We want to ensure we select that plane from this origin. So this is laying flat on the ground. That's not the plane I want. So let me hold Shift key. And as I move around, I can see the planes generate. And what I want is I want this plane here. So let me go and click that. Click OK. Let me go ahead and see if I can flip this. There we go. Okay. I'm going to flip that the other way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this from the back side. And I'm going to slide this over. And I'm going to double click or right click edit my slider feature. And remember, I brought that offset down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back up so that the gear teeth mesh together. So I'm going to do negative, let's try 0.5, see what happens. Ooh, let me click OK and see what that does. A little too far. So let's try changing that to a negative 0.7. Is that too far? That's way too far. Let's try this. That looks pretty decent. Let's rotate it from the side here. They are meshing. I may want to do an offset in the Y direction ever so slightly. Let's try 0.2 of an inch. There we go. And so this should slide left and right, but I need to create a rack and pinion relation between this revolution here and this slide. So I'm going to go up here to rack and pinion relation, click on that. I'm going to select slider, and then I'm going to select my revolute, and then I'm going to click OK. And at this point in time, I should have, oh, there we go. Look at that. So I click on this, I rotate it either direction. I have that beautiful rack and pinion relation, and I'm converting rotary motion into linear motion. I can animate that by right-clicking on Revolute and going to animate, and I can go ahead and leave it in reciprocate mode. Oh, kind of off of my rack there. So let me change this to a starting location at maybe negative 720 and value of 0. Let's try this. There we go. And increase the number of steps to slow it down. So I'm gonna. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to follow along. And I hope you can get this to work. Enjoy.